And who the heck am I looking at? I'm looking at Simon Costin. That's a Mercedes taking corners. And yeah, 5 minutes to go in Q1. We're a little bit late, just jumping into the stream there. May have been a little bit impeded there, but I think he's abandoning his lap, or he was just on his out lap. But according to the tire wear, I am assuming that is a small situation of impeding there. So far, Ryan Newton leading the quali boards here. 131.9 as a banker lap. A little under 5 minutes to go in Q1. Quentin K just finished his own lap. Just a little bit behind Ryan there. And yeah, we're already seeing the 131s qualifying in Q3. Last night in Division 2 was... don't think it went into the 131s, or if it did, it was probably close to the Ryan Newton's time. Obviously, it was raining a lot. Q1, by the end of Q2, started drying up a little bit, and then Q3, well, the track conditions were quite interesting and ramping up quite a lot. Let's see if we can find somebody here on a lap. And a lot of drivers seem to be going into the pits, having finished their 2 laps. You'll notice on the driver standings, there's a couple things that have changed on the board, something I cannot fix at the moment. You're going to see 2 Nathan Dones. There's a driver of Nathan Delille currently sitting P19. He's on track, I believe, on his out lap, who also doesn't have his telemetry on, obviously. He is, well, he's carrying the same number as Nathan Donen. He's going to have to switch it over for sure. And that is Nathan Delille, a newcomer from LDL League. League we've seen Maxime Beaulieu racing, somewhat part of as well. And Marco Bastin came from there as well. And another driver from LDL is Marco Raymond, currently sitting P13. We'll definitely be looking to get back out there to have a quali run going. And yeah, well, let's get on board with a newcomer here. Looks like he's starting his quick lap on worn tires, already at 7% there. Let's get the timetables running. That's what I'm looking for. And I believe we could use a little bit of this. A little bit of an overlay there, but that'll be his telemetry. Through in the Halo HUD there. Definitely improving, currently sitting P19. 2 minutes to go in this first qualifying round. The bottom 5 drivers will get eliminated. Gets a little bit of dirty air, a bit of a lockup there. There's a Haas right in the path of Nathan Delille there. And is that the Haas of another? It's either an Entrevetti, I believe that might be Yann Breton actually. And you could tell the second sector is not very good. A little bit difficult for him. And where will... Oh, well, there he goes around. Nathan Delille loses it. That is P20. It won't get any better than that. He will be eliminated. And he crashes into the wall. Okay. Well... That's that for this guy. And now his body's gonna go right back on track, get in everybody's way, because why not? And yeah, indeed ticketable. Indeed ticketable for sure. But it looks more like a just another rage quitting French Canadian. That's all it is. Just gonna do something real quick on this end. There you go. There. Alright, well, Q1's over. His bot is... Is that even his bot? It looks like it might actually be him, though. Yeah, it looks like he's still driving it. Let's get on board with the actual Nathan Doan here in the Ferrari. Will he be able to improve on his time? He's on the cusp of getting eliminated. He doesn't need much improvement to get past P15 and past Duncan McCamick. And Nathan Doan goes P8. Anand Trivedi is eliminated himself. Duncan McCamick, is he working on his lap? He sure is. Duncan here entering sector 3 there, turns 12, 13, 14 here. He's improving in the sector 1, having a little bit of difficulty in sector 2. I'm struggling with being able to just see absolutely everything. God damn. There you go. And Duncan is out as well. Marco Remo and the McLaren is out. And some random in the Alfa Romeo called Riv that joined about 4 seconds ago before the race started is also eliminated. So Jordan Kwan, I don't know, it's saying that Raymond is not on his outlap there, but Jordan Kwan was very, very close to getting eliminated there. He's very happy he was not, luckily for him. And that is the end of Q1. There you go. Fastest lap of 131.9, very closely behind will be Quentin K. Expect those two drivers to be battling for pole there, Ryan Newton and Quentin K. Qualifying merchants, and Ryan Newton definitely has very strong race pace. Freddie result being in the top 3. Quite surprisingly, as surprising as Stelios Repas in P4. Magnussen Q, Marcel Paps, Chad Swindell, Cam Bourne. Cal Blevins, one of his favorite tracks, obviously P9. Nathan Dolan's in P10. And yeah, there's surprises. Well, we got Jan Breton there in P12, a newcomer in the Haas to complete the season. 2 drivers were fired, basically, off of their seats at the end of last week's race. There's no more Nicholas Arrow. He will be racing as a reserve, being replaced by Marc-Olivier Raymond and Michael Bubla in the Haas. After some rage quitting situations there, he is done as well. And so as we're back here, let's just take a quick look. What am I looking for? I'm looking for this. The standings, right. Quentin K, it's 2 wins in a row, having won his race in Australia. He is topping the leaderboards here in the championship by only 5 points, right behind Cam Bourne. Ryan Newton also in P3. Look at that top four are absolutely battling it out for the championship here in Texas. There's still 4 rounds to go. This is round 7 out of 10. And it's going to be quite an interesting battle for sure. So Quinton Cade Camborne, Ryan Newton, Marcel Paps are all within 10 points of each other for the championship. Things that could change very quickly if one of these 4 drivers take the win. And definitely is the battle for first that we'll be observing this week. The midfield battle, if you look at the points further down, there's an absolute tie between Maxime Beaulieu and Jordan Kwan. Aston Martin having quite a very good season so far. Both drivers are very similar in pace. They're doing a lot of good work. You could see the teamwork they do on the track as well, and that that's really great for them, for Aston Martin. P5, P6 in the drivers championship. I'm wondering if there's going to be any if the team principal is going to Hokage, if he's going to give them team orders in regards to racing each other. The teams seem to be very closely together. We'll see where they qualify. Beaulieu and Kwan are through to Q2 as well. So let's keep an eye on that. Further down in battles, we've got a 3-way battle between Nathan Doan, Magnussen Cube, Major Castleman. Three drivers each at 1 point between each other, basically 74, 73, 72 points between Doan, Cube, and Castleman. And further down the grid, it's a little bit more disparate, obviously, with the changes in drivers. With Bubla and Nicholas Arrow will not be showing up anymore on their on the grid, and Nathan Dalil, it's his first start officially with us in Coda and the Alfa Romeo. And if you look real quick at the constructors, it is led only by 5 points by Red Bull. Obviously, with the wins this season of Quinton, that helps him out. It helps Red Bull out quite a bit. Very close behind is Ferrari. And we have a 3-way battle. Look at the Mercedes, Alpine, and Aston Martin. A tie between Mercedes and Alpine at 185 points, but only 1 point behind sits Aston Martin. So it just comes to prove how good of a season Beaulieu and Kwan are having there. And then there's the battle for the best of the rest, currently led by Williams and P6. Not a good season so far for McLaren and Haas once again. But they still have a lot of time to get back into the mix and battle things out. Who's my first driver across the line? I believe it might be Major Castleman. He's on his outlap from what I'm seeing. On worn tires as well. Go. Quinton K is going to be actually the first one across the line with a good time at 132.1. Yeah, that looks pretty close to what was the top timings in Division 2 last night. Here we have Ryan Newton as well, coming in just a little over a tenth behind Quinton K. Cal Blevins, 244 behind Quinton, and Chad Swindell with a 131.6. So Chad Swindell went right away on fresh tires. So that's why there's such a difference in time. It's not necessarily because he's that much quicker than Quinton. He's really got the fresh tires out early here in Q2. Questionable strategy there, as Nick Riles seems to be the Riv guy. I guess that's a new driver in the Alfa Romeo. It looks like he left the session. I don't know if what's going on there, but so yeah, it's a 131.6. It gives us a good idea of what the expected pole times are approaching. We're looking at low 131s. Let's see if maybe one of these guys will take out some massive esports times and give us maybe a 130, 130.9. That'd be absolutely awesome to see here in Division 1. Seeing multiple drivers going back into the pits. Who is next across the line? Maybe that has not put a time yet. I believe maybe, yeah, Jaquan. It's gonna be. Let's get pop on board with Jaquan there. Who is currently breaking my lap timer for some reason. There we go. He's gonna hit it at 132.4 for Jaquan. Sets him up for P5. He also took out the brand new soft tires, so it looks like a lot of drivers in Q1 only did one run on the intermediate early off to get their bankers, obviously, and then a second one on their soft tires, save the set for Q2, and are gonna use the drivers that think they really need the fresh softs to get into Q3. They're probably using their fresh, their new tires right away. Expect Jaquan to go back into the pits after this one and back out with the fresher tires. 7 minutes and 40 seconds to go. As we're observing Yann Breton in the Haas, 2/10 in the first sector behind Swindell already. Potentially a driver in the way there. There you go. He gets out of the way. Decent exit there for Yann Breton. And Breton is also on worn tires. It's a set of scrubbed. Let's see if he could get himself up into the top 10. Obviously, the bottom 5 here will get eliminated at the end of Q2. The bottom 5 having not put a time yet. Don right past Breton, Razzle, and Bourne. I believe Breton is on a lap. There's got Cal Blevins. I believe he is on his out lap already, actually. Real quick, Freddie Rizal currently sitting in P14, also on a set of scrub tires. He is on his way across the line, and that looks like it's going to be a 132.8. A little bit of a slower time for him, who was third earlier on. And Yann Breton is going to cross the line and himself goes in P10, and it was a 133 for third sector. Rather horrendous for him. And I gotta say, the tire grip on worn tires for the softs are they're just not performant. They're just not good. So these drivers using their their scrub tires, that's fine for them. Honestly, I think they're just getting their braking points on and everything, but they're definitely not in a situation where they could find a lot of time to be very good. And we're observing Nathan Doan here. It looks like he's got a decent lap, but his tires are... Did he actually do a lap? I don't see any wear on his tires. I don't know if this is just a telemetry glitch, but... Yeah, it looks like he's on his... slow lap, absolutely. Ryan Newton himself is starting a lap on his end, so let's get on board with him, see what kind of lap he can give us. Boy, yeah, we're definitely gonna do something here. Let's move this right there. A little bit of correction there in turn 11 might affect his back straight speed. It is purple sector 1 time, however. Gets through that corner nicely, uses the entire width of the track. Turns 12, 13, 14 he goes. And in 15, it's not purple sector 2, but it is looking very good. Quentin K got across a single 10th behind Chad Swindell. And can Ryan Newton beat that time? It's looking rather promising. And there it is. It's a 131.7. So also a 10th. Yeah, 122 behind Swindell. Quentin K is a 092 behind the leader here in Q2, Cal Blevins. Currently pushing on his lap. Oh, takes a very interesting line through there. It went absolutely wide, and I think that's going into the pits, actually. Yeah, I don't think that was working out for him at that moment. And his Magnuson Cube. Yeah, so Cal Blevins went into the pit. Magnuson Cube's going to try to improve on his time, and he does. 132.2. And that's P5 for him. Who is next across the line? There's a couple drivers coming out already. That's going to be an interesting situation here. So 2 minutes 40 to go in this second qualifying session. Chad Swindell has retired. He's P1. He's feeling safe. Magnuson Cube does not have time to go back into the pits and go out again. So he's officially done. Cal Blevins also decided to retire. He's also feeling very confident. I'm assuming Quentin K and Ryan Newton are going to do the same. They're on their way into the pits as well. So I'm thinking everybody from P6 down are probably going to go back out once again, and that seems to be what's going on. Well, Simon Carlson actually is going into the pits. He won't have time for another lap, which is rather disappointing strategy-wise for Simon Carlson. He's in a situation where he might be able to stay in the top 10. Marcel Paps retired into the pits. He's sitting P10. So questionable strategies after a rough weekend in Australia last week with multiple pit lane strategies or mishaps, I'll say. Well, they gave him penalties. Well, Marcel Paps is retired from the session P10. He's not in a very good situation to be going into Q3. Castleman will be the first driver to complete his his quick lap, followed by Jan Freddy. Who is this? Nathan? Is that Nathan Dunn? Yeah, it is Nathan Dunn. For some reason, I have absolutely no telemetry for him whatsoever. Big old penalty for Dunn right there. On board with Castleman, who was a race winner by quite a margin in Las Vegas at his first race with McLaren. Hasn't been much of the case. Hasn't done great performances since. Has been caught up in incidents in turn 1. And Coda is turn 1 incident. Very it can happen, definitely. It's a very wide turn there. Goes through 15. 15 could be a tricky corner to get on the gas there. It looks like he takes it wide, but seems fine as well. We'll be able to see in a second. Will he be improving on his time? Doesn't take the whole width on the curbs there. Maybe it's because of the low ride height. Rides the line there. And that'll be P7 for him. So officially, Marcel Paps is eliminated. It's going to be P6 for Jan Breton. Can Freddy Rizal improve on his time? He does. That is P4 for him. And behind, it's going to be Cam Bourne. Currently, both Alpines are in danger. P11 and P12 for Cam Bourne and Stelios Repas. And across the line, Bourne goes, takes the P4 away from Freddy Rizal by a proper 3/10. Next across the line is going to be Beaulieu, and that is going to be P8. And immediately gets replaced by only 11 thousandths of a second by his teammate Jordan Kwan, P8, P9. And the last driver across the line, will he be able to save himself? And he does. Stelios Repas, P8. And Jan Breton, Simon Costin, Major Castleman, and both Ferraris. Looks like Nathan Doan was unable to improve on his time. And we have both Ferraris eliminated from Q2 in P14 and P15. Quite a disaster for Ferrari. We're not used to seeing them not performing in Q2. They're actually very, very strong in qualifying normally. They're going to have their work cut out for them for sure. And what is going on with... Alright, well apparently the newcomer in the league just already left. Okay. Great. New people that come and immediately do things. Oh, that being said, we are still going for Q3 here in Division 1. Let's go take a look at the weather real quick, actually. Yeah, we're still in overcast conditions for the qualifying. It looks like it's going to be sunny all around for the actual race. So nothing to really get worried about in that kind of situation. So what do we have? Well, we have both Alpines out. Well, Quinton K is actually out on track. So the top teams really have done great work at putting themselves into Q3. It's 2 Alpines, 2 Red Bulls, 2 Aston Martins, and 2 Williams. The outliers are Ryan Newton and Magnussen Cube, actually. Magnussen, who's been doing a decent work at qualifying P6, P7 usually this season. It's when it comes to the race, that's when it gets a little bit crispy for him. And where mistakes are made, incidents happen, unfortunately for him. So on their outlaps, and if they kept an extra set of soft tires here in Q3, you normally have time for 2 fast laps with only 10 minutes to go. It's a short qualifying session for, well, Q3 lasts 12 minutes, right? So if you're maybe thinking of doing what Quinton K is doing, I don't think you even have time. Given the length of the track and the fact that you have to do the end lap, the prep lap, and everything, you probably don't have time to do 3 fast laps out here. So Quinton K will be the first one across the line and beginning his fast lap, his first fast lap of the Q3 session. Jaquan looks like he's going to be staying into the pit, so let's get on board with Quentin K. Like a very rapid first sector. Obviously, no times to compare it to. It looks like he had also a little bit of a an oversteer moment into turns 8 and 9. Let's see how that affected his time. He is on brand new tires. Good on the slower cars to stay out of the way. Oh, you can hear a bit of a lockup, and you'd think that would be cutting the track, but apparently not. So he's gone through a little the edge there. Obviously sitting in purple sectors, but he's the only one who has set sectors yet. We're expecting sub 32s in regards to lap time. Will he be able to do a monster lap? And it looks like it's going to be a 1:31.4 for Quentin K. And who do we have behind? It's Ryan Newton. Well, he's on an outlap on worn tires, so maybe not a driver I'm going to stick to on the camera here. Let's check behind. Stellis Repas on his outlap, and right behind Swindell. Well, there you go. He was on a fast lap. I was wondering if the dirty air maybe have caught up to him. He got really close to Repas there, and 2/10.5 just about behind Quentin K. And Cam Bourne goes in P4, but look at Magnussen Cube. Well, 7/10 behind Quentin K. Just comes to show how quick the top drivers there are. And that's P3 for Cube, though, so far. Next across the line, we should be seeing Kyle Blevins himself on worn tires. A little bit of a squiggly moment there on the rears on the last corner. That's a 1:32.6. So 1.2 seconds behind Quentin. Maxime Beaulieu next across the line. That's going to be P5 for him. Immediately pushed back into P6 by Freddie Rizal. 1:32.6 as well. Looks like Beaulieu, looks like maybe worn tires, I think. Yeah. A lot less worn than the other guys for some reason. It was definitely fresh tires for the top three so far. And let's check out with Ryan Newton. He's across the line at a 1:32.0 on worn tires. So a lot of time that you can get, and funny enough, it's about half a second you could easily get on the fresher tires. So Ryan Newton, that was an absolutely strong lap, given the fact that his tires are scrubbed. And while everybody is now headed back into the pits, there's one driver who has not gone out on the track, and that's Jordan Kwan. So no qualifying lap for now for Jordan Kwan. We're 5 minutes and 35 seconds to go in this third qualifying session. Right, well, let's have this beautiful view there on the pit lane. Give ourselves a 2-3 minute break by the time these other drivers come out of the pits. However, once these drivers get their qualifying in order, finally, it's 28 laps around Circuit of the Americas, and I'll be very curious to see the strategies used by the different drivers, obviously, and it's a bit of a weird one in regards to car setups, and because the race hasn't started yet, I won't say too much, not to influence any drivers who are engineers that listen to me for some reason. But it'd be very curious to see which drivers go for the lower downforce setups. They want the top end speed to do the overtakes in the back straight with the DRS assist, compared to other drivers who want the higher downforce and try to run away with it maybe a little bit in the first sector, making it a lot more difficult to overtake in the back straight. But you have to have a lot of strong control on your car and on the track, and a good grasp on the track if you go with the higher downforce setups. The other thing is tire strategy, right? So, I mean, the soft tires are quite raceable here in Coda. They do get kind of roughed up by between lap 8 and 10, which could hinder the actual race strategy, where you want to try to pit around between laps 13 and 15, maybe a little bit later, depending on if you're on the hards, obviously. So we'll see possibly a mixture of strategies. It might be from soft to hards, which I think is much more viable than soft to mediums. The mediums completely die out at the end of the race on that strategy. Might be seeing hard to mediums or medium to hards, which should be the more popular tactic, I would say, in the event where hard tires definitely will, in regards to pure tire wear, the second stint with the fuel unloaded on the mediums are quite rapid, very, very rapid to end the race on. The other thing is safety cars. There's usually a safety car, there's usually incidents. However, we did not, I just realized last night in the Division 2 race, we did not have any safety cars at all. So that could be something that could become a factor here in Division 1. Last night there should have been a safety car. Sadly, Spanini dying, unaliving himself in turns 7 and 8. However, we were at the end of the race and there was no safety car that was going to be utilized in that situation. Every single driver is now on track, on their out lap, on their prep lap. And we are going to get ready for the final moments of this short qualifying session. Stelios Repas is still in the S's, early S's in Sector 1. So he's going to be the very last driver. He might have to hurry it up a little bit to catch up to the pack. The minute and 10 seconds to go. Well, Chad Swindell is going to be the first driver on his fast lap for his attempt at pole position. Right behind him, it's Freddie Rizal, who will be looking for a much better result for his qualifying lap for now. And then we have Camborne, Cube, Blevins, Newton, Beaulieu, Quan, Cott, and then Repas. Interestingly enough, Swindell doesn't go on the wide line there to begin his fast lap. A lot of drivers will take that final corner very wide to get the best speed possible. You heard a tiny bit of lockup there. Oh, and a bit of a rear traction loss there, a tiny bit. That may affect his lap time. Let's clean through here. Actually, it goes down to third gear here. Most drivers stay in fourth, actually. Looks like a very solid exit into turn 11. Down the back straight he goes, on the DRS. towards turn 12 as wide as possible on those curves. A lot of lockup as well, and I don't know if that's just a visual lockup or if he's actually locking those fronts. He goes very wide through here as well. A suboptimal time, or line I should say actually, through those triple rights. And into the left-hander goes as wide as possible. Will he be improving on his time? Well, not improving enough towards Quentin K. He's about 64 thousandths behind. Freddie Rizal is going to grab P3. That immediately gets replaced by Camborne for P3. Cube in P4. Ryan Newton's about to cross the line, and he's going to have pole at 131.4. Will Quentin K be able to do better? Beaulieu and Quan again. Quan just does a little bit better than Beaulieu and the Aston Martin. And Quentin K with a 131.3. That's going to be pole position. Quentin K, the quali merchant, strikes again. What a lap by Mr. Quentin. Ryan Newton just behind him. So close in time. Look at those gaps between the top three there. Cam Board, Magnussen Q, Freddie Rizal, again the Aston Martins. P7, P8 just following each other. There's basically, I'm wondering if Maxime just cloned himself at that point and somehow cloned himself to be better than actual him. Yeah, that's my theory. That's absolutely my theory. And Cobb Levins P9, maybe a little bit disappointed for him. The American who absolutely adores this track and claims to have the great strategy. He's ready to go. And Repas, who is going to beat P10. And the sun is out. And we're ready to get racing again. And Nathan Doan will be so disappointed if I don't do this, as our usual tradition goes for it. And I mean, I'm going to absolutely need it for this race. The adult beverage. And if you want to know what I'm drinking, as it's bubbling over and making a mess all over my keyboard, that's reason number 2 why my keyboard is sticky. There's a pomegranate hibiscus and tea white beer. Yeah, I'm one of those fancy guys with fancy beers. Might be better than doing tequila shots during a race, I guess. So, from what I understand, we should be racing with 19 drivers. As Riv, I was given his name, joined the league, joined the race, did one lap, crashed out, left the league. That is probably the shortest history a driver's ever had in Zoom Racing League. Maybe I'm forgetting if somebody else did something like that, but yeah, looks like it. And the red lights are up already. The 5 lights are red. And away we go here in Circuit of the Americas. It is a strong start for Quentin K on board Ryan Newton. Can he get the inside line? He's going to take it safely. Both drivers on the hard tires to begin. And following closely behind, Chad Swindell. Look at this beautiful view there. Looks like it's clean in the back. Maybe there was an incident for one of the drivers. No, everybody's following very cleanly, actually. No soft tires are being used. It is all a mix of strategies of hard to mediums. And down turn 11 we go. And it is led still by Quentin K from Newton to Swindell. From Bourne, Quan and Beaulieu. Look at this. Jordan Quan and Maxime Beaulieu both gained a couple positions. And Kwan's now in P4 on the inside of Camborne. He went on the medium tires, making them work right away. Very strong performance, strong showing early in this race for the Aston Martins. Not like what we saw in China. And Marcel Paps, who had himself started, actually no, he's actually started P15, I think, and now he's P14. His teammate right behind him, Nathan Doan in P15, and Ancevetti in P16. Good start, by the way, from Jan Brateau and the Haas. The medium tire is working very early. P10 for him. He's the driver who is replacing Michael Bubla. And P20, Nathan Delille. Obviously, you'll see him as Doan. And is Riv actually... Did he... Is he racing? I am so confused. Well, whatever. Until somebody tells me what's going on, the Alfa Romeos are definitely doing something. And looks like it's a... Whoever's ghosted there. That should be Delille. Yeah, I'm wondering if his AI took over from there. Well, let's just make a little quick verification here. Oh, I got them mixed up, don't I? Oh, would you look at that? Okay, hold on. Let's just fix that real quick. This should be like this, and there you go. That works a lot better. Alright, so Nathan Delille is actually racing, and he's got that 3-second time penalty showing on his end. There you go. And whoever's in P20, I think, is just an AI, so thank you for that, whoever that person was that joined. And in the front, well, Chad Swindle got P2. He stole that away from Ryan Newton. Expect that to happen early in the race for drivers on the mediums. It looks like he's making a move for the lead of this race here against Quentin K. The medium tire advantage is much stronger early in the race against the hards. It is on the second portion of this race where it's going to get it's going to be very different. We're going to expect the hards to turn to mediums, and they'll have the pace in this race towards the end a lot more than the drivers who will have to switch to the hard tires. Further down, again, the Aston Martins P4, P5, taking advantage of their extra grip advantage. Great showing from the Green Boys. And a massive DRS train. It is absolutely ridiculous from P... what is this? Basically, everybody's got DRS on everybody, basically. It's a DRS train from P1 to P19, at the exception of our AI friend that's not going to quit. Luckily, he's ghosted. It was maybe Simon Cosson, who's just on the cups of breaking that DRS train on Castleman here. And 8 tenths, almost 9 tenths here. I think he's going to be good. He's still going to have the DRS, so the DRS train continues. Quentin K himself, though, well, he's got the DRS. Is Chad Swindell completely dumping his battery? Well, interestingly enough, that's An interesting glitch. I cannot see the battery. Oh, that's sad. Well, I used to have the ERS showing here on the grid. For some reason, it's not going to be showing for tonight. Big gains and big losses, as I was mentioning. Usually the medium tire runner is gaining 3 positions. Quan, Baudier, Castleman, Blevins having a little bit more of a difficult time there. P13, the second driver in the Red Bull. And Swindell is absolutely running away with it from Quinton K. He's probably hoping that Ryan Newton gets a little bit more on the offensive on Quinton there. And will he be thinking of making a move? Well, it looks like it's going to be very natural and easy move to make there. And Ryan Newton is in P2. Battle there between Roselle and Cube. Did I just see Cube's lights flashing? Yeah, Cube's been using up a lot of battery, obviously. And look at this, Chad Swindell with a 1.8 second. And interestingly enough, just a quick comparison. What do I need for this? I think I need this. That's what I need. Ryan Newton, if you look at it, hard tires, the way they're going, 21 and 18 on the rears. Swindell is the same thing on the fronts, actually. It's on the rears where it's getting a little bit trickier for him. Very much more equal wear. Compared to other drivers on the mediums, it's very much more equal as well. So a little bit more front tire wear for Ryan Newton. And another 3-second time penalty for Nathan Delille this time. So we are up at 6 seconds for him. Nathan Delille is usually a Division 1 driver, and looks like both Yann Breton and Blevins also got their 3 seconds. Boys, we're 6 laps in, already getting 3 warnings. Delille is basically getting 1 warning per lap. So everybody's pushing, everybody's getting on the limits of the track, the actual track limits. And who is that behind Simon Costin, who made a move? Oh, is that Cal Blevins, who just completely lost it? He caught it. He absolutely caught that. Oh, he just... Wow. Okay. I was sure I just saw a Red Bull die there, and he's still in it. He's getting pushed a little bit wide by Marcel Paps, who has to wrestle his way past Cal Blevins there. So he loses 2 positions after that situation. A little bit of extra wear on the rear tires because of that, but he is keeping it alive. Good for him for that. Simon Costin, that overhead view. Simon Costin very closely followed by Marcel Paps, who's going to try to do everything he can to salvage his race. The other Ferrari, Nathan Doan, maybe having a look on the inside of Blevins. He changes his mind. And the exit here becomes super important. There's a battle going almost 3 wide. Cam Bourne, Jordan Kwan, I think Brazil too. And Bourne's going to get it past both Aston Martins there. Great showing for Cam Bourne. Well, the hard tires are starting to work for him now compared to the Aston Martins. Aston Martins have reached already their first degradation limit. And meanwhile, up front, that's what I want to check out here. Chad Swindell, 1.5 seconds. He lost about 3/10 to Ryan Newton in the last lap. So are we starting to see the switch of performance between the medium and the hard runners already here in lap 8? Any more action in the back straights? We're still in a massive DRS train here. I think I saw Marco Raymond trying to make a move. Look at these guys trying to go in. It's going to be Castleman there. And a whole bunch of drivers here from Paps to Trivedi to Blevins. Trivedi gaining a couple positions, and what's happened here? I think Costin lost a couple positions there. Lost one to Kyle Blevins, actually. He's going to try to make his way back. Is he going to try to go on the outside there? Or making sure he's not getting Kyle's dirty air, probably. And a couple drivers going off the track limits there, probably catching a warning as they do so. And look at the way these guys are fighting. Perfect view there from the back marker here. Marco Raymond P17 struggling there in that first corner, and Simon Costin is going to protect his P15 from Nathan Doan. Oh, there's a very brief yellow flag there. Yeah, it looks like it's from Nathan Delille there, who's approaching turn 11. So it looks like both Alfa Romeos are being driven by level 40 AIs currently, by the looks of things. Gonna be kind of a disastrous weekend for Alfa Romeo here in Division 1. Back in the up front, I was just trying to see, was Quinton and Ryan, were they battling? But seems like they're just pacing each other. Newton's still about 1.5 seconds away from Swindell, so not much improvement on the actual race leader. And what's happened in the back, I'm thinking Repas has lost multiple positions, and he's completely lost it. His rears, and is he going through the pits? He is. Looks like he lost it on the triple right-hander there. 16, 17, 18. And he's going through the pits. Is he going for the mediums already? Yeah, look at that. It's going to be a long shot for him. Those medium tires are good, but until, I'd say 15, 16 laps tops. So it's going to be really rough for Repas. He's going to be hoping for a safety car. Hopefully they could get back on his second set of mediums. I'm assuming he has. Cam Bourne, who's leading the second DRS train. So the grid's basically split it in half. The top three are following each other. And then there's a DRS train, as you can see it here, from Cam Bourne all the way down to Castleman. It looks like, yeah. Oh, actually all the way down to Breton. All the way down to P10, actually. He's trying to stick with them. And then P11, Marcel Paps, who, went wide, got back on track and completely shoved an Trivedi off. Almost created an extra collision. All Cal Blevins as well. And Beamer wrestles his way past. Definitely a warning for Marcel Paps there as well. Doan gets past Blevins on the inside, and it's a DRS race to turn 1 here on lap 11. Will Marcel Paps get on the inside? He's going in on for the inside dive, and look at Trivedi with the switchback, and there's contact between both drivers again. It's beautifully made by Trivedi, and there's contact, and Marcel Paps almost loses it, and it's causing a domino effect. Absolutely mayhem there from P11 down to P14. I'm sure these guys are gonna want these little incidents looked over. It was, and luckily for them, no damage either. It could have been much more worse. Up front, we have Rizal overtaking Cube for P7, as does Castleman. Actually, Castleman and Cube looks like they're going side by side. And Cube's gonna have that inside line. Will Rizal be able to make a move towards turns 15? And Rizal's thinking about it. He's sticking his nose there, but that's not gonna work. Cube defends this position successfully for P7. And again in the back, looks like there's more battling going to get ahead. Marcel Paps getting past Blevins. And up front, that is Doan and Trivedi. And Cal Blevins is going into the pits. He's gonna not fight these guys anymore. He's gonna try for the undercut. Doesn't seem to have any damage, so no wing change either. Straight onto the mediums he goes, so he's gonna go a proper 16 laps on those mediums. And lap 12, looks like Swindell is just about to lose that DRS advantage to Ryan Newton. Ryan Newton is quickly approaching him. He's about to be under that 1 second gap. Will Swindell go into the pits by the end of this lap? Because sooner than later, he's going to find himself dragging Ryan Newton closer to him with that DRS advantage, with the slipstream. Those tires are quite worn. Quite worn, but yeah, there's about 5% difference between him and Newton on the rears especially, but on the fronts they're wearing very equal. And with a 1.2 gap there, well, Swindell is gonna keep his car on the track. And let's see if drivers in the back are maybe looking for the pit lane. Well, it's gonna be Beaulieu's turn. He's gonna go for the undercut. He was ahead of his teammate Jordan Kwan. They both couldn't go in the pit at the same time, obviously. So Beaulieu's going to go for that undercut. Let's see if that would work for him. No other drivers out in the pit lane for now. Well, Don went into the pits, actually. Don's P10. Oh, no, actually, Don's P10. Hold on. Well then. Yeah, definitely did not get on the pits. I don't have the tire age for some reason. I don't get the ERS. I'm missing a bunch of info. Thanks to this lovely overlay. Once again, Cube gets past Rizal here. Seems to be the story between these two battling for P6. As they're trying to make their way up to P5 on Jordan Kwan. It's not going to happen anytime soon, I believe. And Ryan Newton now is in the DRS of Swindell, who's gone into the pits. Lap 13, he's going for the hard tires. Jordan Kwan also into the pits. it'll be really interesting to know how that's going to play out for the Aston Martins. Going from mediums to hard tires usually is not the play, as you see Quan getting back on track right behind his teammate and Raymond. Meanwhile, Beaulieu, is he going to try to make a move on Duncan McCamick? Duncan's battery's flashing. He's giving it his all. Worn tires, probably distracted by a Pacers basketball game at the same time. And Doan is, Mechanic, sorry, is not going to have the DRS, so he's going to get overtaken by Beaulieu for P12. Maybe thinking about going for the change of tires. Rosell moves into P4 past Cube. These two drivers continuously exchanging positions so far. And up front, we have any of the top two drivers into the pits. I don't expect them to go, and they're not. Still on the hard tires, they could go several laps to go still. So Rosell's leading the second part of a small DRS train with Cube, Castleman, and Swindell closely approaching them. Nathan Doan and Duncan McCamick into the pits, they go. So quite a number of drivers who have not pitted yet, mostly drivers who've started on the hard tires. Huh. Well, that's why. Aha. I just figured something out. There you go. Okay. Little overlay gremlins. Quinn and Kay into the pits. And Camborne as well, actually. So an undercut attempt there on Quinn and Kay against Ryan Newton, and sometimes being in P1 is the disadvantage you could put yourself in, and for some reason, am I seeing Camborne on... Oh yeah, Camborne did start on the hard, so now he's on the medium tires, as is Quinn and Kay, so medium tires to go till the end, about 13 laps here, including this one, so that will put them in a great position. And Freddie Rizal, who's probably in a situation where he might give a tow there to his teammate. Small tow, a DRS there for Chad Swindell. And he's going to get past Freddie Rizal here. Only makes it happen at the very end. Wondering if Freddie was trying to dump a little bit, defending himself from Major Castleman, because now he's going to be on the offensive on Freddie. Meanwhile, Quinn and Kay also approaching them is Ryan Newton. Ryan's going to the pits now. So we expect the undercut to work very well. Quentin Kay, maybe luckily for Ryan Newton, did not have DRS to help him out. He should still be past him. And Major Castleman gets a 5-second penalty for corner cutting going into the pits. We'll see what was the extent of that corner cutting. I'm pretty sure the stewards might be reviewing that. And oh my goodness, well, look at this. Ryan Newton is right past Quinn and Kay. They're going to go side by side into turns 2. Is there going to be an action here in DS? Is Quinn and Kay going to make an attempt here? No, he's not. He's going to wait for the DRS. Doesn't get the really great exit as Ryan does. And Ryan and his tires are not up to temp whatsoever. And this is what the effects, let me show you here. This is what the effect of one tire. Oh, we'll get back to that in just a second. We got a full safety car. And Raymond's out. I'm trying to see if I could catch a view on him. No, that car was taken care of quite swiftly. He lost it in the S's. I don't know if that was due to a contact or a situation, but Raymond seems to have lost it between 6 and 7, and Delille does as well under safety car conditions, which okay. Let's see if there's a driver maybe with some damage. Doesn't look like it. I believe it was on the back markers here. At least I don't see anything visible for the moment. Well, this safety car comes put quite a dent in Chad Swindle's initial strategy. Already we expect the hard tires to not be as performant as the medium tire runners behind him, as most of the second portion of the grid is changing their tires. A little bit of a slower stop there for Beaulieu due to the Haas of Breton going in. A lot of drivers going for mediums, and we're seeing the soft tires for the first time. Look at this. Cam Bourne on the soft tires, Major Castleman as well, and on Trivedi P14. Will Nathan Doan go on soft tires? Yes, he does. Simon Costin on soft tires, and Duggan McCamick on mediums. And with 10 laps to go, man, I'm really curious. There's some people in the chat. What tire strategy would you have gone for? Would you go 10 laps on those softs, or would you have tried to stick it with the mediums? I feel the softs would get a lot more performance early for, let's say, the first 5 laps, but compared to the mediums, you lose a lot of rhythm for the last tenth of this race. And if there's one thing Sweeney G did not want to see, was a bunch of drivers catch up to him, bunch up to him with medium tires, with fresher medium tires. And speaking of fresher medium tires, this is what I wanted to show you. The undercut of Quinn and K, the impact it has on his tire. We're already talking about a 3% tire wear difference between Quinn and K and Ryan Newton. So if Ryan Newton can nurse his tires and take care of it, he's finding himself in a situation where he might have that little bit of extra grip towards the end of the race that might give him the advantage on Quinton. All right, safety car conditions. Let's see if I can find Lance Stroll here. Curiously enough, Jordan Kwan on the hard tires did not pit. And I don't know if that was the decision of his, or if the safety car came in at the wrong moment. Finds himself P4 in a great position, however, hard tires. Penalties are going to be important with this race once again, especially with drivers being bunched up for the last 8 laps of this race. I'm expecting the safety car to go in. I'm not sure if it's going to be this lap or maybe the lap after. 6 seconds for Breton, 3 for Blevins and Carlston alike, 9 for Delille. Still have 2 back markers who've not joined the safety car train yet. So safety car will be doing another lap. So we will have 8 laps of racing. And this is going to be capital here. Really, really important situation. The safety car goes in. You're full on racing, but no DRS. So no DRS for the first 2 laps. So you're only getting DRS by lap 23, which means that could give drivers like Ryan Newton, Quinton Kay, the necessary time to break a 1 second gap from drivers behind him. I'm expecting those 2 to completely run away with it. Quinton and Ryan, I think they're going to follow each other, and it might become a last lap kind of situation. And once again, funny enough, it'll be a Red Bull versus Mercedes battle. It was the case last night between myself and Nick Hamrick. Nick Hamrick, who raced a phenomenal race, by the way, for P2. And it was the same kind of situation. I was ahead, and Nick Hamrick was following me behind. And we'd expect maybe he would overtake me for the last lap on the back straight, but the battery regen wasn't that great to begin with. And in this situation, compared to last night, Quinton Kate has a little bit more wear than Ryan Newton, as Chad Swindell slows the whole pack down now. As we are getting ready to get back into it, I'm going to get on board with Quinton Kay. Let's see if he is able to catch Newton off guard. Or will Newton catch Swindell off guard? Who is this right ahead of him? Is that Jordan Kwan? It looks like it is. The race was taken back. Was a green flag once again, and Jordan Kwan almost stuck his nose past Quinton Kay for a second there. And there's a sector yellow flag. Who has gone around? It is Stellus Repas, who's also had a 3-second time penalty in the last corner there, and he's gone around in turn 1. It is still led by Swindell to Newton from Kwan, Magnus and Cube, Freddie Rizal, 5 and 6. Both of these drivers have been absolutely following each other, and Cube's going to go for a move on Jordan Kwan, outbreaks him, and that's P4 for the Magnus and Cube. And behind, I believe Bourne made a move on Beaulieu as well. Cam Bourne P7 on the softs currently. Everybody's dumping their batteries. Look at this. Most of everybody's at 50%, except Nathan Doan at 0 because he's not giving me telemetry because he absolutely hates me. And a green flag. Looks like there was a moment in the back once again. Could that have been Duncan McCamick? Maybe. Find himself in the back. No, it's Major Castleman, actually. What happened with Major Castleman? I completely didn't see him. Major Castleman on soft tires is now sitting P19. That is not a good situation for him. And is Ryan Newton going to make a move on the inside? He goes for the lead of this race on Chad Swindell. Takes the inside line, makes it clean, stays away from Chad Swindell and from any kind of contact, and goes for the lead. Ryan Newton. And he is let loose. And he's going to try to run away with it as much as possible. Major Castleman retirement in the pits. That is out for both McLarens. It is yet another disastrous weekend for McLaren. A sense of deja vu for them. Nathan Delille, who loves those penalties, gets another 3-second time penalty. Interestingly enough, Ryan Newton doesn't break the toe or really gets a gap on Swindell, and Quentin Kay doesn't really go for the move on Swindell yet as well. He's being very patient about it. Sweeney G is doing quite a good job trying to stick it with Swindell as much as possible. Quentin Kay is going to have to make a move sooner than later, because look at the time interval. We're really approaching that 1 second gap for the DRS. There has not been DRS activated. It is going to be activated as of now. Are we going to see another turn 1 move down on the inside? Quentin Kay, he's got it much more cleanly than Chad Swindell. Swindell's going to try to get the better exit here. Is he going to be able to make it happen? No, he doesn't. It sounded a little bit like he had a tiny bit of a rear wheel spin there. And so Chad Swindell drops to P3. And now maybe Magnussen Cube is thinking of a podium here. With those medium tires, that might be working out for him. And there it is, Ryan Newton completely running away with it. Look at that, 1.4 seconds, so no DRS on Quentin Kay. Kay's going to have to do quite some work to catch up to him. Sweeney G, Chad Swindell still within that 1 second to have DRS, but now it's Freddie Rizal. Rizal and Cube have been battling it out, and now it's Cam Bourne with the soft tires taking advantage of this situation. He's just making it past Cube, just barely. He's on the outside, but Cube's got the better line. Will he make it through? He does. Overtaking P in turn 19. Beaulieu now wants to take a look on Cube, and so Cube went from P4 down to P6 in so little time. And Bourne's got an absolutely great stint there going for him on the soft tires. Will that hold until the end of the race? Freddie Rizal into turn 1. Another overtake. Chad Swindell does not have the top end speed to battle up front, so he's going to let his teammate go. Will Freddie Rizal be in any way, shape, or form able to get back into DRS on Quentin Kay for an attempt maybe at P2? Ryan Newton at a 1.6 second away with the lead, now 1.7 with 4 or 5 laps to go, including this one. Let's keep an eye out on the speed between Quentin Kay and Freddie Rizal. Both of them have used up their battery quite a lot. You see them flashing, and the top end speeds are very similar actually. Ryan Newton does exactly as I mentioned he would be doing. He's nursing those tires, taking care of them as much as possible, and that's allowing him that little extra grip. And that's having quite an effect on this race. He's now just about 2 seconds into the lead. And Freddie Rizal, he's slowly catching up with just about no battery, trying to get himself into that so important DRS on Quinton K. Will he be able to make it happen? While his race is now going backwards since the safety car restart, Chad Swindell almost lost another position into turn 1. Cam Bourne is all over the rear of that Williams. He's making it happen. Cam Bourne, who's initially looked like he was having a storyless race, just a very normal, okay race, out of the blue comes with those soft tires, and his pace is absolutely off the walls right now. Will he be able to go for a P4? And who knows, if Freddie drops off the pace, maybe for P3. But for me, it looks like Freddie's now in a situation. Let's look at it again. He's going to have the DRS on him. And you can see the difference in top speed. From 9/10 all the way down to what about just about 6/10 here. Look at how much closer he gets to Quinton K. And so if he's able to get just about those 2/10 every lap with the DRS, he's going to be in attack mode on Quinton K eventually. The real question here is, will he have the battery to make it happen? Because Quinton's got a little bit more battery to defend himself with, and that's probably what he's trying to do here. And Cam Bourne has made it work for P4, by the way, as has Boudier at P5, which would be an absolutely phenomenal result for him. A great result. Kwan's race has gone completely backwards since the safety car restart with 3 laps to go. Kwan sitting P14. Those hard tires are not working. They're not working for Swindell. They're not working for Kwan. Everybody else on the soft or the mediums are getting positions and points. You could see behind, I think Cal Blevins was looking to make potentially a move on Magnussen Q. And even Nathan Dones climbed up into the top 10, being hunted down by Simon Costin. However, Simon's got 6 seconds of penalties that'll drop him back. Nathan Dones gets himself a 3-second himself. So Nathan, who thought he'd get a position on Blevins, well, he loses that advantage. And Marcel Paps is retired from the session. He's out in P8 and turn 8. So that is it for Marcel Paps. A disastrous race for one of the top 4 drivers in the championship, trying to make a statement, trying to get back into a position where he could possibly get the lead of the championship. That will not be the case tonight. For a second time in a row, it was a disaster in Australia. It's a disaster here in COTA. Leaving it all for Nathan Doan to get the points for the Constructors' Championship. And with 2 laps to go, it is Ryan Newton who's completely running away with it. 2.5 seconds away from Quinton K, who's come under pressure for P2 battle on Freddie Rizal. Quinton's done a decent work on keeping him away. Somebody's entered the chat, and that is Cam Bourne, who's now sitting at P4. And who may be able to get into the DRS range of Freddie Rizal by the end of Sector 1 here. Keep an eye on him. Oh, a little bit of a struggle there. And it's becoming a little bit more difficult there for Cam Bourne. Those soft tires are showing their wear already. He hit 40% on the rears already. That's why the soft tires are very racy, but not for a long time. And will he have DRS? He does have DRS on Freddie Rizal. Rizal has the DRS on Quinton K. Still not in striking position. And Rizal's been completely dumping his battery the entire time he gets. And he's not put himself in a position to tackle Quinton by the end of next lap. And I think he's going to run out of time in this situation. We might see Freddie Rizal still on the podium, but that'll be in 3rd. Although there's still a lap to go, and I may have given him the worst broadcaster's curse, especially with Freddy. I gotta be careful with those. And a lot could be played for in the back. Cam Bourne will want to try to catch it to Freddy. He might have to be careful behind him because Beaulieu and Swindell are battling it out for P5. Cube's not too far away either. And then there's basically the rest of everybody, but all those time penalties from track limits will drag them down quite a lot. And yeah, and another 3-second time penalty for him. That's 9 seconds for Breton in the Haas, so he's probably going to drop out down to P15 from P11. That's pretty much game over for him. And no significant action going on still. Freddy's catching Quinton on the straight, but not enough to make a move happen. That is for sure. There's no way he's going to make a move from here. And Freddy's going to be very happy with that third position here. That podium he gets, I believe that would be his second one this season with Cam Bourne in P4. Swindell's not able to make a move happen on him. And Beaulieu, I don't think he's going to go for any kind of move here. We're in the final instances of this round here in Coda. And it's been a race. And across the line, Ryan Newton goes and secures the second win this weekend for Mercedes. Division 2 was won by me, and this race won by Newton. P2 for Quentin K, P3 for Freddie Rizal. A great showing for the Williams driver, for the Williams team in general. P3, P5. That'll be a lot of constructors' points for them. P6 for Beaulieu, a strong performance for him. Cam Bourne in P4, again, a strong end of the race for Cam Bourne. Beaulieu P6, Cuban P7, and ultimately with the penalties, I believe it's now Cal Blevins who's actually P8. I want to make sure I'm showing the right information here. And yeah, Cal Blevins is going to be P8. Fastest lap goes to Quentin K, by the way. Nathan Donan P9 from P15. Yeah, that'll be a great race from him. Duncan McCamick, it's P10 from P17. That's a strong showing for him. Respecting track limits and watching a Pacers basketball game while doing so to gain 7th position. P11 for Simon Carlson. P12 for Jan, Jaquan in P13, Chavetti in P14, Stellars Repas, who had a bit of a struggle race in P15. And then there was the other guys who didn't finish the race. Interestingly enough, the bot is actually P16. We'll see what we do about that. Probably just make it a 19 race. 19 driver race, so it would be P16 for Marcel Pav, 17 Delil, 18 for Castleman, and 19 for Raymond. Disastrous race for both Alfa Romeo and McLaren. Their team principals will definitely not be happy with that situation. All right, stick with me in just a second. We're going to go to our interviews. We're going to get our top 3, starting with Freddie Rizal, Quentin K, and then our race winner, Ryan Newton, for the interviews. Stick with me for just a moment here. All right, we're ready for some interviews here. Let's get Freddie Rizal into the broadcast booth with me. Freddie, it's a P3 finish for you, taking advantage of the safety car to get onto the right tires, make it work. Did you at some point think you would be able to catch Quentin K for P2 and during this race?
Definitely not. I did have a fresher tyres, but we had a certain person that likes to burn his battery in the first minute, so yeah, I had to get past him and then use all my battery, so I couldn't really put a attack on Quentin. I think the idea was, Campbell was quick, a whole soft stint he had at the end. I think the idea was for me to just get into Quentin's DRS and just let him pull me along.
So the idea was getting to Quentin's DRS, let him help you defend from potential offense from drivers behind you. I believe that's your... Let me go check the standings real quick, but correct me if I'm wrong. That is your second podium this season, isn't it?
It is indeed.
It is indeed.
Honestly, I did not think I would get a podium this season.
So it's twice you're close enough to make my prediction early this season to become true.
You're getting there. You're getting there.
Well, I'm getting there, but I want it to become true. You're going to have 3 more races to make it happen. So which of the next 3 races are you winning? You have Abu Dhabi, you have China, and you have Silverstone. Pick one.
Oh, there's only one answer to that. There's only one answer to that. No, China last season was definitely not the one for me. Silverstone, home track, it is.
It would be the dream, wouldn't it?
It will be the dream, never won at Silverstone before. It'd be great, So it's got to be Silverstone.
Yeah, well, why not? Why not? And anything could happen in Silverstone. We had great racing on that track in the past for sure. Well, Freddie, congratulations on that P3 finish. I'm sure you're very happy with that, with your team for Williams. And we'll see you next week.
No, cheers for the broadcast.
For sure.
As always.
Thanks. All right, P2 and the broadcast. Quentin K in the middle of a sentence was about to say something, and I brought him in here. Quentin K, you had quite the opportunity to follow Ryan Newton as much as possible. He ended up getting past Sweeney G for the lead of the race in turn 1. And it seemed that just that situation allowed him to run away with it, get that gap on you, which you were never able to get back with the DRS. What happened in that situation?
I knew Ryan was trying to be patient with Swinney, because I think Swinney had really high or really low wings, so I think Ryan was just trying to get by him, not cause any collisions, and then got by him, and then he just instantly broke that gap, and it was pretty much impossible for me to get by because I tried to burn my entire battery trying to get past Swinney there. And then I think I was about half a tenth shy right from the DRS from getting it, but I just didn't know the lines in Sector 3, and it cost me today, so still happy with P2 though.
You're in a situation where you may have... I'm not sure. You're very, very close to maybe losing that lead in the championship to Ryan Newton. I think that fastest lap point makes the difference. It's maybe by 1 or 2 points.
2 points.
Yeah. So with 3 rounds left now, are you starting to feel the pressure for this championship?
Especially with the tracks that we have left. They're not really the best ones for me, but certainly for Ryan. So that's definitely not in my favor, but for sure I'll be trying to push and win the championship. But Silverstone out of the 3 is probably the best one for me.
Yeah, Silverstone. I remember seeing some races of you in Silverstone, and I'm aware that's one of the better tracks. Abu Dhabi and China, I think for most people might be the tracks that they're less comfortable with. I'm curious to see what Ryan's got to say about that. Congratulations for your P2 finish, Quentin. That was a great race on your part once again.
Thank you.
And our race winner, the P1, Ryan Newton. That safety car situation put you in the best spot possible for the race when you took fully advantage of that situation. That overtake in turn one on Chad Swindell ended up breaking the toe on everybody, and basically taking care of your tires, getting that grip advantage on Quinn and K. Sounds like a textbook weekend for you, Ryan, this weekend.
Yeah, I think it's what we needed for the championship. I said they're missing around, but yeah, it was the result I was aiming for going into this weekend. I know I have to be locked in for the rest of these races, so but yeah, we took care of business. Yeah, I think the prep that we did Mercedes helped out a lot. And also, yeah, I think it was just, yeah, the best we could have gotten out of it.
Yeah, most drivers are telling me that for the last 3 rounds of this race, I spoke to Freddie, I spoke to Quinn, and telling me that they're more comfortable at Silverstone. Which track? I'm gonna change my question actually. How are you going to prepare yourself for the last leg of this championship, knowing that it's probably holding on by a string, basically between you and Ryan, between you and Quinn, and I think it's 2 points that separate both of you now.
Um, I think we have a good chance. I think I had a good shot at the win for these last few rounds. I think actually winning at Coda was crucial because I feel like this is a track where like usually like a wheel driver would be faster, but I think with the amount of practice I did this week, I was able to overcome, I guess, that gap. But yeah, I think with the rest of the rounds that we have left, yeah, it should be an interesting battle. Except for China, we all know I'm running away with that 50-second win. Yep, yep.
That's that was kind of where I was hinting towards. Where I know in private calls you mentioned China being one of the tracks you felt comfortable in, and not a track that was raced very often here in ZRL. I don't know if this is the first time we're racing there or not.
This is the second.
Second, right? So yeah. So we'll see how the drivers get used to this track there. So well, congratulations once again for your P1 finish, Ryan,
Yep.
and we'll see you next week.
Yep, thank you.
Sure. And that marks the end of this race weekend here in Zoom Racing League. Actually, for the race weekend in Division 1, obviously, let's not forget Division 3. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern. Division 3, it's getting interesting. Obviously, once again, if we look at Mercedes, Vera has been going through a series of bad lucks. He is still in contention for a potential championship, but Joe Garon has been racing phenomenally well, and Kiwi, who's actually on the lead in an AlphaTauri, something we were not expecting to see. It's really awesome to see that going. Kiwi, not a single win this season, but leading the championship. Will he be able to make a statement race tomorrow night and get the win in Coda for AlphaTauri? That is something that we'll definitely be looking into tomorrow night. So tune in tomorrow night with a broadcast by Big Mama Frank. And if you haven't done so already, don't hesitate to like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. And on my end, I will bid you adieu, and we'll see you next week, Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern for Division 1. This time it'll be in Abu Dhabi. Good night, everybody.